compiled in the Newstalk Radio Newsroom and powered by DemeraraWaves.com.
Good day with your major newscast. I am Jessica Daw. First with the highlights. The way appears to be now clear for People's National Congress Reform leader Aubrey Norton to enter Parliament with the departure of Dr. Nicolette Henry from the opposition benches. Government denies that the 2022 budget is geared for big business. In the region, severe floods have killed several persons in Haiti. Used car dealers in Trinidad and Tobago are asking government to help with the rising cost of vehicles. And internationally, U.S. President Joe Biden is to send extra troops to Europe this week amid continuing fears of Russian invasion of Ukraine. The details of these stories and more in just a moment.
Advertise with us on Newstalk Radio Guyana 103.1 FM for best coverage on programs on motivation, beauty and health, parenting and relationships, knowing your rights, and a variety of enlightening content, and get value for your money. Call our helpful staff today on 223-1056 or 223-1041 today.
Now for the news in details. Shadow Education Minister Dr. Nicolette Henry Wednesday afternoon confirmed that she will no longer be a member of Parliament. It is unclear whether she has resigned or steps have been taken for her to be recalled. House Speaker Manzoor Nadir did not say by what means she will no longer serve as a parliamentarian. Her announcement possibly paves the way for People's National Congress Reform leader Aubrey Norton to emerge as a parliamentarian and opposition leader.
As I conclude my presentation, Mr. Speaker, allow me to place on record a few thank yous. In light that this is my final budget presentation in this honorable House, of course, I begin by thanking none other than His Excellency former President Granger, who reposed in me the confidence to serve in this honorable House. I am forever grateful to the people of this country who afforded me the opportunity to serve them with professionalism, dignity, and accountability.
She also thanked APNU plus AFC parliamentarian Joseph Harmon, who has already resigned as opposition leader, and the Alliance for Change.
I thank the coalition partners, Kemraj, for their unwavering support and guidance. I thank the former opposition leader, my friend and colleague, the Honorable Joseph Harmon, for his unwavering support. I thank each and every member in this honorable House for the commitment and dedication they bring each and every day, sometimes under the most difficult of circumstances. I thank my family, who has always held my back and who has supported every decision I have made. And so today, it is with those words that I part company.
The Central Executive Committee of his party has decided that PNCR leader Aubrey Norton should become a parliamentarian and be elevated to the post of opposition leader. Dr. Henry is one of the 9 APNU plus AFC parliamentarians who was drawn from the top-up component of the list of candidates that the PNCR leader had consulted earlier this week in an effort to convince one of them to resign. Alternatively, Mr. Norton would have been left with no other option to recommend the recall of one of them to the representative of the list of APNU plus AFC candidates, Dr. David Granger. The Guyana Revenue Authority has begun registering motor vehicles in the PAC series. The GRA says the PAB series has come to an end. While the Revenue Authority says the PAC series will begin shortly, the Prime Minister's security vehicles are already in the PAC series. The GRA says the PAB series began on June 23, 2021, and with less than 180 motor vehicle registration numbers remaining, this will be the first series completed in just over 7 months. The ZZ series was completed a few days shy of 10 months. The registration series that lasted the longest is the HH series, which commenced in June 2000 and ended in September 2003. The GRA says the current trends indicate that more vehicles are being bought and registered over an increasingly short period. The GRA is reminding the public that registration of new motor vehicles is currently being facilitated at the GRA's railway embankment location. Payment of the registration fee, physical examination of motor vehicles, and the change of motor vehicle registrations are also being facilitated at this location. Public Works Minister Deodat Indar on Wednesday rejected claims by the opposition, a Partnership for National Unity plus Alliance for Change, APNU plus AFC, that the budget is for big businesses. He made known his position 3 days after opposition coalition frontbencher Amanzo Walton Desir assailed the government for generously giving tax breaks to the private sector and said those would not trickle down to ordinary Guyanese. In an apparent rebuttal, Public Works Minister Indar says incentives for the private sector will eventually generate revenues and create more jobs.
The income tax from the private sector is what the GRA received to be $89 billion from companies alone. Private sector pay taxes so that government can spend money into public initiatives. Import duties, about $27.5 billion in import duties. They also pay VAT on imports, about $26.3 billion. Excise tax on imports, about $40.5 billion. So the private sector pays into the government coffers taxes and fees that we then use to program on a budget. So the argument again that is for the big boys and so it's a weak at best argument by the opposition.
The Public Works Minister further explains that the budget is linked to expanding business and creating jobs.
Out of 251,000 jobs, 163,047 jobs, the private sector put that in the economy. So if you have a budget and it doesn't address that 163,000 workers and the companies they work for, then the budget is a misfit. But this budget that we have put together here address that exact thing, create jobs and how to expand the private sector. Mr. Speaker, the public sector have around 57,000 jobs and not-for-profit organizations have about 30,000 jobs. And that makes up the total workforce in Guyana. So to say that is a private sector budget is a weak argument on their part.
Public Works Minister Deodat Indar. A Surinamese man was Wednesday in police custody after he was arrested allegedly with 2 shotguns and ammunition. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit says that the man was caught at the backtrack area at Springlands, Berbice. Kanu identified the man as a 38-year-old Benjamin Judah Ibrahim Koning Forander was arrested during an operation by the Joint Support Team. The items that were allegedly found in possession of the man are two 12-gauge shotguns along with 12 cartridges and 50.22 rounds. Two persons were Wednesday killed in a horrific three-vehicle road accident near the Mahaica Bridge, East Coast, Demerara. Police have identified the dead persons as 16-year-old Sharida Prasad of Bath's West Coast, Berbice, and 21-year-old Christopher Bagwandat of Middle Street, Monrepo. A Force spokesman says that Constables Tucker, Sam, and Johnson were referred to the Georgetown Public Hospital, while Corporal Carmichael remained at the Maiconi Cottage Hospital for treatment. Preliminary reports state that Corporal David and Constable Griffith were conducting traffic duties on the Zealand Public Road, Maiconi, East Coast, Demerara, when Constable Griffith stopped motorcar PNN 8852, which was proceeding west with a male and a female driver and an occupant. Police say as the driver pulled to the left and as the rank approached on foot, the motorcar pulled off at a fast rate of speed. Corporal David reported that he immediately informed a passing anti-crime patrol driven by Corporal Carmichael along with Constables Tucker, Johnson, and Sam, who pursued the said motorcar and occupants. According to Corporal Carmichael, as they were pursuing the vehicle on the Mahaica Bridge, the driver pulled right and collided with the Force vehicle, which collided with the bridge rail. Both the Force vehicle and the PNN 8852 collided with motor Canter GJJ 9151, owned and driven by Omish Prasad, age 46 years, of Lot 1 Claremont, Leguan, which was proceeding east on the bridge. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a gold miner in the Middle Mazaruni River amid claims that the canoe went down with him and a co-worker. Dead is gold miner 19-year-old Ronaldo Rampersad. The Guyana Police Force says he drowned at about 4 p.m. Tuesday when the vessel sank between Lulu Island Point and Banana Landing, Middle Mazaruni River. Investigators were informed that Rampersad and another male, who are both employees of Nisha Joseph on her land dredge at Cashew Creek Backdam, left to go to a shop. Police say the man left that backdam about 3 p.m. in a canoe, also known as Wood Sink Boat, and went to Banana Landing, where they purchased several items from a shop. According to investigators, while paddling the canoe on their way back and in the vicinity of Lulu Island Point, the canoe began taking in water and sank, and the other male managed to swim to shore, but Ronaldo went under and never resurfaced. Rampersad's body was found by his brother, Joshua Williams, at about 4:50 p.m. within the same area he went under by his brother. Now for the news in the region. 2 days of heavy rain and the resulting flooding have killed at least 3 people in Haiti. This is according to the head of the country's Civil Protection Authority. Reuters news agency reports that the death toll reported Tuesday, hours after rescue workers began evacuating people in high-risk areas where thousands of homes have been flooded and some 2,500 families have been displaced. The north of the country has been hardest hit, with water filling the historic center of the city of Cap Haitian and high winds uprooting trees. Authorities said at least 20 districts in Haiti have been affected by the violent weather. The rains are the most recent natural disaster to hit the Caribbean country, where the death toll is often high due to poor housing conditions and the lack of infrastructure. The disasters have exacerbated the dire state of the country's economy, with high crime rates and insecurity exacerbated by a political crisis following the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in July 2021. Authorities said the storm hit areas that are still trying to recover from a magnitude of a 7.2 earthquake that struck the country in August. More than 2,000 people were killed in that quake. The rains also flooded a power station and collapsed a bridge, leaving a community isolated. Barbados is struggling to get its stay-over visitor tourism arrivals up to 2019 levels. As we hear in this report from Barbados Today, a top tourism expert in that Caribbean island is predicting a gradual improvement in light of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Tourism occupancy is improving, but it is not back to 2019 levels. That's according to Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Rudy Grant. He revealed there was a 20% increase in December 2021 when occupancy rose to 65.8% over the same period in 2020. However, he said it remained nearly 10% short of the 75.7% recorded in December 2019, months before the COVID-19 pandemic struck.
Our research and member feedback indicate that the 2021-2022 winter season is promising, and in this regard, we continue to be cautiously optimistic. However, the COVID-19 environment continues to be fluid, which means that the tourism landscape can be negatively impacted with little warning. In December 2021, occupancy was estimated at 65.8% in comparison to 45.1% in 2020 and 75.7% in 2019. This highlights that while occupancy is improving, it is not back to the 2019 levels. The projection is for a reasonably well-performing winter, with occupancies for the months of January, February, March and April 2022 projected at 66%, 62%, 65% and 45% respectively. As we assess our tourism performance, it is important to highlight that although tourism business is returning, the total hotel revenues received in 2021 are approximately 43% of the 2019 revenues.
Grant said the critical performance marker of revenue per available room is approximately 46% of what it was in 2019, which is a clear signal that the road to recovery for the tourism industry may still be 2 or 3 years away.
The Antigua and Barbuda government is appealing for more patience from public servants who are mobilizing to take action to demand the payment of outstanding overtime. Minister of State within the Ministry of Finance Lennox Weston issued the appeal yesterday, revealing that the government will be putting together a schedule to cover what is owed to different groups of workers who will be paid over a period of time. He made the remark hours after staff from the Fines Institute nursing home picketed the Treasury building in St. John's demanding overtime pay, which dates back to 2019. The workers took action with the support of the bargaining unit, the Antigua and Barbuda Public Service Association, after a apparently not receiving any definitive word on when the payments would be made. And lastly, in the region, hundreds of used car dealers closed their businesses to support the Automotive Dealers Association. Instead, they jumped in their cars and drove to the capital, demanding a meeting with Finance Minister Colm Embert to discuss the importation of used cars. President Visham Babwa says because of current restrictions, it's difficult for people in the middle and lower income categories to own a vehicle. More from CNC3 News.
If you intended to visit a used car dealership today, you may have met locked gates. That's because hundreds of dealers closed their businesses to stand in solidarity with the Automotive Dealers Association as it delivered a letter to the Minister of Finance to discuss the prices of used cars. While they all sacrificed their sales today, Vice President Rondell Fields says even if their dealerships were open, he knew what potential customers would have said.
Oh God, 3 years ago I buy a wing run, I buy an 80 van looking just like that. Now it's $30,000 just so.
According to Fields and President Visham Babwa, the reduction of the permissible age of importation from 6 to 3 years is making it difficult for citizens to purchase a vehicle.
This industry was started in 1995 by Mr. Bastio Pandey. And this industry was set up to serve the middle and lower income citizens of this country who cannot qualify for a loan.
As a show of solidarity, dealers circled the ministry hoping that their request for a meeting with Finance Minister Colm Embert does not fall on deaf ears.
Years for request of consultation, years of letters, years of emails, years of WhatsApp messages too. No response, next to none. He's the best ignorer I have.
Embert, along with other ministers, are on a retreat. CNC3 News texted him but got no response. But Babwa got an opportunity to speak with the Permanent Secretary, who promised to deliver their letter. They are also hoping to discuss the tax exemption on hybrid vehicles.
We have not been getting that benefit for the entire period of 2021 up to now. We have not gotten the benefit of that. So I would like him to give some clarity on that.
Carissa Lee, CNC3 News.
Here now is your international news coming from the BBC.
BBC News with Sue Montgomery. President Biden has announced that the leader of the Islamic State group, Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurayshi, has been killed in an attack by U.S. Special Forces carried out in the Syrian province of Idlib. The raid happened in the Atme area, home to thousands of displaced people close to the Turkish border. Anna Foster has more details on the U.S. raid.
Abu Ibrahim al-Qurayshi has led the terror group since 2019. Multiple helicopters were involved in last night's operation, but local sources reveal that US troops faced resistance on the ground. The Syrian White Helmets say they recovered 13 civilian bodies from the scene, including 6 children and 4 women. Joe Biden said the operation would protect the American people and their allies and make the world a safer place.
The President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, has warned other leaders at a key meeting that West Africa is in great danger as a result of a wave of recent coups in the region. He said there needed to be a collective response to stop the trend engulfing the entire region. Thomas Nadi reports.
The ECOWAS chair and president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, said that the coup in Mali in 2002 had inspired other takeovers in the region, and he urged regional leaders to work together to find a solution. Last week, the military in Burkina Faso, led by Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, seized power. That was followed by an attempted coup this week in Guinea-Bissau. 3 countries in the region are currently ruled by the military, rolling back democratic gains in West Africa.
Moscow has again condemned Washington for its decision to send 3,000 extra troops to Poland and Romania. The Kremlin spokesman told reporters it was not a de-escalation move and would increase tension. The NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg has suggested the risk of a Russian invasion of Ukraine is increasing. The head of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, said the Winter Games, which officially begin in China on Friday, should not be used to achieve political goals. A number of countries are staging a diplomatic boycott over China's alleged human rights abuses. The Games have also been tainted by allegations from the Chinese tennis star Peng Shuai that she was sexually assaulted by one of China's former political leaders. Alex Capstick reports.
Thomas Bach confirmed the meeting with Peng Shuai will take place inside the closed-loop system, which separates all Olympic participants in Beijing from the wider population. The IOC has been criticised for being complicit with Chinese propaganda, but Mr. Bach defended their non-confrontational approach after the Chinese tennis star accused former Vice Premier Zhang Gaoli of sexual assault, which she later retracted.
World News from the BBC. 10 people have died in Zimbabwe after being swept away while trying to cross a swollen river close to the border with Mozambique. These are the first deaths to be announced in the country as a result of Tropical Storm Anna, which has killed over 80 people in other southern African countries. More than 100,000 people have also been made homeless in Madagascar, Malawi and Mozambique as a result of severe flooding. An oil production vessel has exploded off the coast of Nigeria with 10 crew members on board. Videos from the scene show a huge cloud of dark smoke billowing from the Trinity Spirit, which is on fire and partly submerged. Miney Jones has more details.
It's not clear what caused the explosion on board the Trinity Spirit, a floating oil production and storage vessel based in Warri in the Niger Delta. The owner of the vessel told news agencies that investigations were underway to establish the cause of the explosion. Attempts to contain the situation are being made with the help of local communities and the American energy company Chevron, which has a facility nearby.
Poland and the Czech Republic have signed an agreement to end a bitter dispute over a giant coal mine on the Polish side of the two countries' border. The Czech Republic and Germany have complained that the open-cast Turów mine in southwestern Poland affects groundwater levels and creates too much dust and noise. Dutch environmentalists have criticised plans by the port city of Rotterdam to dismantle an historic bridge to let a new yacht built for the world's richest man, Jeff Bezos, pass through. The luxury vessel, now under construction inland, would be more than 40 metres tall. Rotterdam's authorities will temporarily remove the central portion of the Koningshaven former railway bridge, saying that otherwise the Amazon founder's boat won't be able to reach the sea. The 19th century bridge was rebuilt after Nazi bombing. BBC News.
And that was your international news. Here now is a recap of the highlights. The way appears to be now clear for People's National Congress reform leader Aubrey Norton to enter Parliament with the departure of Dr. Nicolette Henry from the opposition benches. Government denies that the 2022 budget is geared for big business. In the region, severe floods have killed several persons in Haiti. Used car dealers in Trinidad and Tobago are asking government to help with the rising cost of vehicles. And internationally, U.S. President Joe Biden is to send extra troops to Europe this week amid continuing fears of a Russian invasion of Ukraine. And that was your major newscast. I am Jessica Daw.
This has been the news, compiled in the News Talk Radio newsroom. For ongoing updates, visit demerarawaves.com, and you can check facebook.com/demwaves and twitter.com/demwaves.